How do you write good content?
Again, you've got to know your audience, because if they don't like what they're reading, they're not going to read it, right? And they're going to move on to the next post. So you've got to know your audience. The first thing you need to do when you write a piece of content, to be honest, on social media and even on a website, on a blog, or even on a product landing page, to be honest, on an e-commerce product landing page, is that hook. You need to hook me in. So on an e-commerce product landing page, probably the name of the product so I know what it is. On a blog post, or on a blog post, you probably answer a question straight away. And on a social media post, you want to get that hook to get me in. So think of it like a headline in a newspaper. So that would be your first element of writing a good piece of content. Then you'd have a couple of sentences, but again, you don't have a lot because you want me to read it and understand it straight away. Then you'd have a couple of sentences, but again, you don't have a lot because you want me to read it and understand it straight away. Then you put the good value content. Now, not everybody's going to read it, but you're not writing content just for everybody to read it, right? You're writing it for the algorithms to understand it, so then you can get exposure. That's what marketing is about, is getting exposure, right? What I see so many times and people forget is you've got to have that call to action. You've got to finish it off. You've got to have that call to action to get me to do something. The best way to write content is you've got to practice, you've got to learn, and I would create a checklist so then you don't forget these are the points you need to cover when you write good value content. There's another technique, actually, putting spaces in. So a couple of sentences and a space, a couple of sentences and a space. So it makes it easy for me to read and to skim through the points I want to know. So yeah, writing content is actually quite difficult and tricky, and there's techniques in place to make it easier to write content.